For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone at a Happy Moody Coliseum where the Wildcats have just knocked off their second first-place opponent in as many games. Joined by Jaren Lewis, sophomore from Orlando, and sophomore low post Hayden Farquhar. What a game. 71-64 over Sam Houston State. Hayden, let's start with you. 13 points off the bench tonight. You needed every one of them. What was the feeling as the game was progressing and you guys were able to keep that lead?
It was really good. Jay Frank was facilitating really well. He was getting to the basket, and he was passing real good. And just whenever you have five guys that can shoot the ball real well, it's kind of hard to stop. And some of the times it was me, and sometimes it was Drake or Tripp, and it was good.
You had a career high in threes tonight with 4. Jaren, 2 games ago, last game against New Orleans, Jelani had no points at halftime. He scored 15 in the second half in overtime. Today, you had no field goals until the 9:59 mark. You didn't. You only had 2 points at the time, but you finished with 14 and 10. I would imagine that it was such a grind out there. Was there at any point where you're thinking about how weird of a game it was without really able to score?
I mean, it was a low-scoring game. Both teams were playing great defense. I just knew I wasn't scoring that much. I just had to do my job defensively, find ways to impact the game in other ways. But it came around, started being more aggressive, and things opened up for me.
Jalen Franklin has been averaging 6 assists in the last few games here. We've seen some frustration from Jay Frank. Tonight he makes 7 out of 11 free throws. Can you just speak to what he means to this team in terms of running it?
It means a lot. I mean, we know he's our guy running the team. We follow behind him. We just know he brings it every night, and he's a huge part of the team, and we love him.
Hayden, 2 wins this week against first-place teams. You guys saw the record. You knew who was coming in here. I didn't see a whole lot of backing down or fear in this team, and yet you were toward the bottom of the conference standings. How were you able to do that?
This whole week we've been pushing it in practice of going hard, falling on the ground for loose balls, just doing everything we can to just get our mindset ready to go for these 2 tough games. And Coach has been preaching to us this week, attack, attack, attack. Don't matter who's coming in, we're going to just play our game, and that's what we did, and then we came out with the win.
Jaren, isn't it interesting? We look at the standings, and there's a little bit of separation top at bottom, but we've seen, haven't we, how one team will beat the next, and then that team will go beat another team. And I don't know, this is your second year in the league. It seems pretty bunched up to me. What about you?
Yeah, the league has a lot of parity. We just know you have to bring it every day. No matter what the separation is at the time, because anything can happen in the league. We just know we have to keep pushing it.
All right, I'm going to have you guys exit here to the left, and let's bring in Coach Joe Golding here. Coach, last Saturday night you're on a long bus ride home from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. You're 2-7 in the conference, and you look up a week later, you're 4-7, and you've just beaten the top 2 teams in the conference. How did you do it?
It's our guys. It's our players. We've never lost confidence in them. We're a young team. We've said that all year long. We're figuring some things out. We're figuring roles, and we're figuring out how to win close games. We've been in a lot of close games.
You've won a bunch now.
Yeah, we've won a few here lately, and when you win games, it gives you more confidence to perform. I thought tonight we did a good job of handling it better than we did at New Orleans, for example. And when you got a young team, everybody wants to score. Everybody wants to do things, and this group has never been like that. They really haven't. They've been a close-knit group from the start. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch over the next couple years. They've never been down. If you came in and watched us practice this week, you would think we were 7-2. These guys have worked. They deserve this, and I'm proud of them.
Well, you began the day 13th out of 13 teams. Depending on how the other games fall tonight, you could be tied for 7th, and that's what you've been talking about for the last few weeks.
Yeah, we had a tough start. We played.
But how bunched up it is, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot of parity in this league, and we're trying to get our guys to understand the urgency of wins in this league. Any win you can get in this league is important. We got some guys still trying to figure out when the game of SIG social is, or when
next Sunday.
Next Sunday, or when the Koji social is, or Louis still deciding what major he wants to do, and maybe switching 3 or 4. And Jay Frank's, they're 3 or 4 years away. And no, you got to live in the present, in the moment, And I think we've done a much better job. I think we've played good basketball over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We're now finding a way to close some games out and get some wins.
Well, I think 5 of your last 7 games have come down to a last possession. The 2 that didn't, Stephen F. Austin and Sam Houston State, teams that you had yet to beat until this year. I know it's just the next game on your schedule, but it's more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, first of all, I got a ton of respect for Jason Hooten. I've known Jason for a long time. They've got a really, really good ball club. They're going to win a lot more games. They got a great chance to go to the NCAA tournament this year and win our league and win the tournament in Katy. they just came off the biggest win that they've had all year probably against Stephen F. Austin, and they came in here and we were able to jump on them and get a lead, and we were able to maintain it. Is it a big win? Yeah. They've whooped us for 3 years here, and they've kicked us around pretty good. And we've always said we want to compete with the top teams in this league, and we haven't backed away from that. And so to be able to beat Sam Houston says something to our guys in that locker room that we're heading in the right direction. We still got a long ways to go. It's just the beginning of a long journey for this group. But at the same time, I think it gives us confidence knowing that we're doing the right things and we're going in the right direction.
Last thing, we've seen how your team has responded to adversity, coming back after some tough losses to get some big wins. You wonder how a team is going to respond to prosperity. You beat a first-place team, and then you come back and you get Sam, and if you lose this game, then everyone around the league says, well, that's what's supposed to happen. But to follow up a huge win with another huge win, what does that say?
I think they'll be fine. I think they're sick of losing. We started that from the get-go. We got picked 6, and that hadn't happened around here in a long time. Then all of a sudden you look around and we're 2-7, and people are like, nothing changes. You continue to just trust the process. You continue to get better every day in practice. And when your name's called, we got some big-time guys stepping up all over the place now. We played our entire roster tonight. That's fun to see. Yeah. I've been really tough on Jaren Lewis all week. We need him to do exactly what he did tonight. I told him at halftime he had 6 rebounds and 2 points, but I thought we had to compete on the glass, and we fought him even. And Jaren has a double-double. I thought he won a ton of tough plays on the defensive end with rebounds. Obviously, he made some tough plays on the offensive end and got to the free throw line, and that's what we need out of Jaren Lewis. That takes our team, to a different level. Obviously, Jay Frank is starting to get in gaps and get back in space like he used to, and he's finding people. And then we made the switch with Farquhar to 5. You guys haven't seen it a lot. We've been doing it in practice, and today we went with a little bit longer and got an opportunity with Jelani in foul trouble. But I think that helps us space the floor with Farquhar and Jelani at the 5 some, and when we can go with Hal at the 4 and Louis at the 3, we obviously rebound the ball better. So again, we're still figuring this thing out, and we're still trying to continue to get better. But I thought it was a good week. Now we got to get back and get focused. And Central Arkansas, they beat us here. And they did a really good job against us, and we got to find a way to go down there and try to compete and get one.
Can't remember a better week of ACU basketball in a long time. They knock off 2 first-place teams Wednesday night in overtime against New Orleans, and today 71-64 over the first-place Bearcats of Sam Houston State. For who is that? That's Jaren Lewis and Hayden Farquhar and Coach Joe Golding. I'm Grant Boone for ACUSports.com.